afternoon and welcome to another video. Today is Friday the 23rd of September 2016, and in today's video I'm going to look ahead and preview day number 1 of the PDC Unibet Champions League of Darts, which is going to take place on Saturday the 24th of September live on the BBC. We're going to see a double session of darts. The afternoon session is going to start at 1:15 PM and the evening session is going to start at 6:30 PM. We're going to see two lots of group stage matches, and the group stage matches are going to be played over the best of 19 leg format. So the afternoon session, the first match we're going to see is from Group B, and it sees Gary Anderson take on Michael Smith. Now these two have played 6 times before, and Gary edged the head-to-head with 4 wins to Michael Smith's 2 wins. So it's the master versus the pupil in this match because Gary Anderson sponsors Michael Smith. It'll be interesting to see how these two players get on against each other. So it'll be interesting to see if Gary Anderson's break for the last month has been good for him. Will he come back firing on all cylinders, or will he be ring rusty going into this event? Michael Smith did play in the Players' Championships event this week, but he didn't do too well in them. He'll have to try and break that run of poor results if he's to try and get a result in this match. I think that Gary Anderson was too strong for Michael Smith in this match. I think Gary Anderson will win this match by 10 legs to 6 over Michael Smith. The second match of the afternoon session is again from Group B, and it sees Adrian Lewis take on James Wade. Now these two have played a lot more times than the first pair, and these two have played 48 times against each other. James Wade slightly leads the head-to-head with 26 wins. There's been 3 draws, and Adrian Lewis has 19 wins. Now Adrian Lewis won the last 5 meetings between these two, and James's last win was back in March 2015. So that was a little while ago, that's a year and a half ago. So Adrian Lewis has now got into James Head's mind because James Wade, in the original, when they first played, had won a lot of the meetings between these pair, but Adrian Lewis has dragged the head-to-head back, and it's now a lot closer than it used to be. So it'll be interesting to see both played in the Players' Championships event this week in Barnsley. They both haven't done great, but they've both had a couple of wins in each day, so they're both showing a little bit signs of forms. But I think Adrian Lewis will continue his good form against James Wade. I think Adrian Lewis will win this match by 10 legs to 8 over James Wade. The third match of the afternoon sees Phil Taylor take on Peter Wright. This is a game from Group A. Now these two have played 26 times before, and Phil leads the head-to-head with 17 wins. There's been 3 draws, and Peter has won on 6 occasions. Now Phil Taylor wants to put a big statement in this competition because it's the first time we're running the PDC Unibet Champions League of Darts, and again he wants that first name in the trophy, and to do that he'll have to strike a good victory on day 1. And against Peter Wright, he's up against it because Peter Wright is a phenomenal player. He can play with any darts and average 100, it seems to be. I'll be interested to see which darts he uses tomorrow because he hasn't picked up the greatest results in Barnsley in the Players' Championships events, but he's turned up in the Players' Championships events in Barnsley, so we know his form. Phil Taylor, on the other hand, has taken the week off. He's not been at Barnsley all week, and we don't know Phil Taylor's form. We only know it from the last event he played in, and that was in the World Series in the Perth Darts Masters. Now, what do I think is going to happen in this match? I think this match will be very, very close between these two. If this was an evening match, I would back Peter Wright to win this match. However, this is an afternoon match, and I think Phil Taylor will edge it because I think Phil Taylor generally plays better than afternoon compared to evening. And I think Phil Taylor will win this match by 10 legs to 9. I know I said Phil Taylor generally plays better in the afternoon, but compared to evening, but I think that's in the last couple of years. I think now he's getting a little bit older. I think the late nights and for him playing the evening, it's just get a little bit beyond him. We don't see that top level performance by Phil Taylor. We still see a top level performance, but we just don't see that top level we know he can produce. The last match, the afternoon session, is a match from Group A, and it sees Michael van Gerwen take on Robert Thornton. These two have played 27 times, with Michael Van Gerwen having 16 wins. There's been 2 draws, and Robert Thornton has won on 5 occasions. Now, Michael Van Gerwen is currently in the middle of a 35-match unbeaten run. It's a phenomenal achievement for someone to win so many games in a row. I didn't think it was physically possible for someone to do this run that Michael Van Gerwen's been on. And he takes on Robert Thornton. Now, Robert Thornton had a poor year, but again, he picked up and he reached the quarter-finals in the Players' Championship event in Barnsley, where he was stopped by Michael Van Gerwen. It's a good match, but Michael Van Gerwen kicked into gear and had a big finish, which really did turn this match on its head. I think it was 128 finish he took out, and he didn't look back from there, winning the match by 6 legs to 3. But Robert will take inspiration from his last television win against Michael Van Gerwen in the World Grand Prix final. It was a phenomenal week from Robert Thornton. I didn't think that Robert could produce that level of darts, but he can, and he must take inspiration from then if he's to compete with Michael Van Gerwen in this match. So what do I think is going to happen in this match? I think that Michael Van Gerwen will be too good for Robert Thornton in this match. I think Michael Van Gerwen will win this match by 10 legs to 4 over Robert Thornton. Now, the evening session sees the 2 winners take it on each other and the 2 losers take on each other from both groups. So with that, I would say that Gary Anderson is going to take on Adrian Lewis, and Michael Smith is going to take on James Wade from Group B. And Group A, we're going to see Phil Taylor take on Michael Van Gerwen and Peter Wright take on Robert Thornton. So we'll start with Gary Anderson, who's going to take on Adrian Lewis. I think this match will be a close match between these two. Both will be bouncing from their afternoon wins, but I think Adrian Lewis will win another tight match by 10 legs to 9 over Gary Anderson. The other match in Group B is between Michael Smith and James Wade, if my predictions are right, and I think that James Wade will be too much for Michael Smith in that match. I think that James Wade will have a bounce back ability which Michael Smith doesn't have. We've seen before, once Michael starts losing games like he did in the Premier League, it's a downward spiral for him. And I think James Wade will beat Michael Smith by 10 legs to 7 with a very machine-like performance over the Bully Boy. Now, Group A sees Phil Taylor take on Michael Van Gerwen. I think this match will be an epic match because both want to give an inch in this match. I think Michael Van Gerwen will edge out this match by 10 legs to 8 over Phil Taylor. I think Phil Taylor will miss a couple of crucial darts at double, and he'll let Michael Van Gerwen in, and he'll win this match by 10 legs to 8. The other match I think is going to take place sees Peter Wright take on Robert Thornton. Now, Peter Wright will want to bounce back from his loss earlier in the day, and I think he will do so in this match with Robert Thornton. I think that Peter Wright will beat Robert Thornton by 10 legs to 6 because it's a real battle of Scotland, because we both want to show that the second best player in Scotland behind Gary Anderson, and that's a real mental battle between these two players, and I think Peter Wright will edge this match by 10 legs to 7. So with that, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up on the video. I know it's a slightly shorter video. If you want to leave any feedback on this video, you can do so via the comment section below or via my Twitter, which will also be in the description below. And until tomorrow, I preview day 2 of the Unibet Champions League of Darts. I will see you then. Goodbye.